York because it is evening where I am. I came on here to give you a message that, like, Spirit was almost like, pull over right now and say this. But I took a minute to think about it. Because even when Spirit says do it right now, I'm still learning that it's acceptable to say, I would like to take a minute and marinate in that. Especially because I spent a lot of, well, past years listening very like hyper listening, hyper vigilant to, am I hearing something being called? Do I feel like this is a part of something I need to do right now? I feel like somehow that's a part of the message for you before I get to the message. And the message is one that does not take cards to tell you about. In fact, it's a very interesting message about you. Because that is where a large number of collectives of DMs are right now, and not just DMs. Everybody's watching you right now. And this is most especially for any of you divine feminines who have not yet shown up and shown out and taken yourself to the next level. For any of you that have been sitting around, any of you that have been betrayed or leveled or completely brought out of your element, relocated, any of those things, this is for you. Everybody is watching you. And the funny thing is it doesn't matter at all, and yet it completely matters too. It might take a little time to understand that though. The thing is, you were born to be an example. And so the example that you give right now, how you treat yourself, what you get into, what you don't get into, it's so funny that a motorcycle should be going by right now because I've been thinking about doing another message, which I might do too. It's called Start Your Engines. And there's been a lot of that energy going on. It's like ready, set, go, right? And so that feels like a part of this message to you, whoever watches now or later, and thank you for watching, that it is time to start your engines and get ready for a summer of fun because everybody's watching. And because most importantly, you're watching. You are watching you. That's what all this energy is coming out about. Don't believe me, just watch. And hot girl summer, hot mama summer, and hot dad summer, hot man summer, whatever you want to call it. Whatever way it calls to you. If you can feel it calling, that means everybody's watching and you are going to be shown off. If you're getting this message, if you're here in this moment, for one thing, I ask you to come and join me on a new series that I've started called The Legendary You. And I hope that you'll come and join that adventure because it might give you some inspiration here and there on where you want to go, how you want to be shown off. Because you get a higher quality of challenges now. It's not, what do I have to struggle through? It's how would I appreciate being shown off by spirit? That's what you get to decide. Isn't that such a much better thing to be deciding than, do they love me? Have they chosen me? Do I have enough money? Do I have time? Am I too old? Am I too young? Any of that stuff? Doesn't it feel so much better to go, huh? What ways do I want spirit to be able to show me off? What ways am I feeling worthy of? What do I feel like is the best of me? Or even maybe there's some parts of the worst of me that I want to show off so that I can help people show how to come out of it. Whatever it is that you feel called to. Either way, it's not cards that I feel like pulling out in this moment, and it's not a long message. It's very simply that right now, if you're wondering what your DMs are doing, your DMs are watching you. And they're watching how you treat them, they're watching how you treat yourself. If you have children, whether shared or not, they're watching how you do that. DMs are in observation mode right now because they have been leveled. Many of them, the term came to me twice in separate occasions. The Emperor kneels, which means Spirit is humbling many, many DMs. A lot of DMs in particular, if you've been going on in separation for a while, especially if in your journey you were already in a significant union with them before, like not just a few months, I'm talking years and years. Or you've been on the journey with them for years and years and years. Like I'm talking those that are like, class of 2021 graduate in terms of twin flame journey and stuff like that. Like you've been on it a while. Those DMs, especially those that were bratty, petulant, thinking that you trying to offer them guidance was you trying to like pursue them or things like that, or even those of you that were pursuing them, that if they took it arrogantly. Like right now we got Saturn and Pluto and Mars and Mercury and Jupiter and all sorts of planets doing all sorts of things, and one of those big things that Spirit is doing is humbling those who have been in a place of, let's just say, pain, ego, self-doubt, viewing the world as a dangerous place, and those who have put themselves first in unhealthy ways. And that can either be being overly selfish, as in you never think about anybody else but yourself. And usually, even then, when you're doing that, you're not really thinking about yourself. You're thinking about whatever context you feel like is safest to think about because you don't want to face some emotions and things like that. But the other side of it is when you feel like when you placate, when you give to others, and then you have nothing left to give to yourself. And in a lot of DMs, that's the situation, is that they got themselves wrapped up into a situation that was meant to show them they have the capability to have healthy boundaries, and they have the ability to get unstuck, and that they deserve better, and that they desire better. And for some of you, these are DMs also that you've kind of been their conscience and their source of light and love and warmth, and they genuinely believed that they didn't have any of that without you. And so they fell back into old cycles of themselves before they met you, and probably before they realized half of what they were doing there was anything wrong with it. But Spirit brought them to you largely because they prayed for you and you prayed for them, and Spirit said, okay, here you guys are. And then they had the opportunity to rise up with you, and they didn't choose it, either because they didn't feel strong enough, they didn't feel like they could satisfy you, or they felt stuck in karmic third party situations. Well, this is one of those, not just be careful what you wish for, but be careful what you think. Be careful how you speak to yourself. Be careful how you speak about others to others. Be careful how you speak about yourself to others. And be careful about how you let people speak to you about themselves, about others, and about you. If you're with or around anybody that is suggesting you are weak or broken or unable to do something or shouldn't do something your heart feels called towards, or you're speaking those ways to anybody else, anything like that, become a master of your own vibration by being okay with leveling up and getting away from those vibes. Be okay with being the example of, this doesn't feel good anymore, so I'm not going to hold on to it. Be an example of, I'm going to go have fun no matter where I go. Be an example of flexibility, adaptability, an example of being your own best supporter. Be an example of choosing yourself, whether it's awkward or easy or any of it. And really enjoy it, because as an example, it shouldn't just be fake it till you make it. It should be you're genuinely enjoying it, especially because while everybody may be watching, your DM is the only one out of all of them that can genuinely consistently tell when you are faking it. So you got to get to a place where you are not faking it. You are authentically you. You are legendary you, because they're watching. And they want you to know that they're watching. And there'll probably be a number of other videos coming out saying they're watching you. In fact, there have been videos. They've been watching us. Like, they've been watching. But now Spirit wants you to know, and they want you to know. And it's time that you accept the beautiful opportunity in front of you to be able to utilize that momentum. Anyways, send me an email if you're feeling called to this video, wickedlydivinefeminine@gmail.com, and let's see where you're at.